Have you ever noticed how your grocery cart feels full, but the receipt never seems to match what's inside it? Across the states, families walk into grocery stores expecting to buy the basics, simple meals, things they've bought for years. Yet somehow the total keeps climbing, while the cart looks no different than it did before. Not because people are careless, but because the grocery store itself quietly changed, while shopping habits stayed the same. Most people don't realize how much of their grocery cart has stopped working for them. What once centered on ingredients slowly shifted toward convenience, branding, and margin. Without anyone announcing it, many households began spending more while eating no better than before. If you strip the grocery store down to its essentials, something interesting appears. There are only a limited number of foods that truly carry their weight, foods that last, stretch meals, support health, and rarely end up wasted. Everything else looks helpful, but mostly serves the store's bottom line. One of the most quietly powerful foods in any kitchen is eggs. They don't demand attention. They don't expire overnight. One egg delivers complete protein containing all 9 essential amino acids the body can't make on its own. What's rarely mentioned is that eggs are also one of the best sources of choline, a nutrient tied to memory and brain health, and many adults across the states don't get enough of it. Eggs also behave well. They last for weeks in the refrigerator. They don't rot quietly in the crisper drawer. They don't guilt you when plans change. Boiled, scrambled, baked, or mixed into other meals, they adapt without drama. Across the states, households throw away roughly $1,500 in food every year. Eggs are almost never part of that pile. To make meals truly stretch, protein needs a partner. That's where rice enters the picture. A large bag may look unremarkable, but it quietly delivers hundreds of meals at pennies per serving. Stored properly, white rice can last decades without spoiling. Entire civilizations rely on it, not because it is trendy, but because it works. Rice absorbs flavor, carries sauces, and turns small amounts of meat or vegetables into filling meals. It delivers steady energy without the sharp crashes that come from processed snacks pretending to be health food. And when paired with beans, something even more important happens. Dried beans are one of the most overlooked foods in modern kitchens. They are inexpensive, shelf-stable, and deeply nourishing. Once cooked, a small bag turns into several meals worth of food. Beans deliver fiber, protein, and heart-protective benefits in amounts most Americans never reach in a day. The soaking process intimidates people, but it is simple. Beans and rice together form a complete protein, providing every essential amino acid without meat. For generations, this combination fed families not because it was clever, but because it was reliable. Breakfast once followed the same logic. Oats didn't come in flashy boxes or promise excitement. They simply worked. Oats contain beta-glucan, a fiber that helps lower cholesterol and stabilize blood sugar. They release energy slowly, keeping people full for hours instead of crashing mid-morning. A container of oats costs very little and lasts weeks. It adapts easily into baking, cooking, and even savory dishes. Long before labels and marketing, people understood that boring food often does the most important work. Vegetables have become one of the biggest sources of waste in modern grocery shopping. Fresh produce looks appealing under bright lights, but it often travels long distances and spoils quickly once you bring it home. Frozen vegetables tell a quieter story. Harvested at peak ripeness and frozen quickly, they often retain more nutrients than fresh vegetables that sit for days. Frozen vegetables wait patiently. They don't rot in the drawer, and they don't punish you for skipping a meal. Across the states, households throw away nearly a third of the fresh vegetables they buy. Frozen vegetables nearly eliminate that loss. Fruit doesn't get simpler than bananas. Inexpensive, filling, and nutrient-dense, they deliver potassium most Americans lack. Their ripeness changes their function. Green bananas support digestion, ripe bananas provide natural sweetness, and spotted bananas become perfect for baking or freezing. No packaging, no preparation. Nature handled the design. Tomatoes introduce one of the great grocery misunderstandings. Fresh tomatoes shine only briefly during the year. Outside of peak season, they are often bland and disappointing. Canned tomatoes processed at peak ripeness contain more lycopene, a compound linked to cancer protection, than their fresh counterparts. A single can becomes sauce, soup, or chili, stretching meals across days. It waits in the pantry without complaint. The guilt many shoppers feel choosing cons over produce is misplaced. Protein is often where grocery bills spike, but not all cuts behave the same. Chicken thighs cost less than breasts and are more forgiving of overcooking, while delivering more flavor. They adapt to grilling, braising, slow cooking, and shredding. Bones become stock. Nothing is wasted. Professional kitchens have known this forever. Value isn't just price, it's how many meals one purchase becomes. Peanut butter deserves more respect than it gets. Affordable, shelf-stable, and rich in healthy fats and protein, it quietly supports heart health and satiety. It works at every meal and doesn't demand refrigeration until opened. Potatoes were unfairly blamed by diet trends, but nutritionally they remain one of the most satisfying foods available. Rich in potassium and vitamin C, affordable and long-lasting, they ranked highest in studies measuring fullness. One potato paired with beans or vegetables becomes a complete meal at minimal cost. Flavor is what turns simple food into something enjoyable, and onions do more work for less money than almost any ingredient. Slowly cooked, they transform meals without sugar or additives. Their shelf life outlasts most produce. Garlic plays a similar role. Beyond flavor, it delivers compounds linked to blood pressure control and reduced cancer risk. Fresh garlic stores for months, and it costs very little. Crushing garlic activates its benefits. Fats matter, and olive oil stands apart. Used daily in traditional kitchens, it supports heart health and reduces inflammation. One bottle replaces several inferior oils, and it performs reliably across cooking methods. Canned tuna offers protein efficiency that few foods can match. Affordable, shelf-stable, and rich in omega-3 fatty acids, it supports brain health and longevity when eaten in moderation. Carrots quietly deliver vitamin A, immune support, and long shelf life at minimal cost. When cooked with fat, their nutrient absorption increases dramatically. Bread rewards attention, not avoidance. True whole grain bread supports digestion and blood sugar stability. Stored in the freezer, it eliminates waste entirely. Butter spent decades being blamed unfairly. Made simply from cream and salt, it supports flavor and satisfaction, and it aids nutrient absorption when used reasonably. Dried pasta waits patiently for months, ready to become a meal when needed. Combined with canned tomatoes, garlic, and olive oil, it forms one of the most economical dinners possible. Cabbage outlasts nearly everything in the refrigerator. Affordable, nutrient-rich, and versatile, it feeds families across cuisines and seasons without demanding attention. Finally, calcium deserves attention, especially as people age. Milk and fortified alternatives deliver calcium, protein, and vitamin D together. Powdered milk quietly offers the same benefits, with extended storage and lower cost. Across the states, these foods form the backbone of kitchens long before grocery stores became entertainment spaces. They weren't exciting, they weren't marketed, they simply worked. Understanding this doesn't require rejecting modern life. It just means recognizing which foods still earn their place and which ones quietly empty wallets while offering very little in return. Shop with intention. Eat simply. And let the grocery store work for you again.